everyone, it's Laura from Laura's Handcrafted Treats and Treasures. Welcome to or back to my channel. Alright, so this is going to be part 3 of doing some pockets and some writing spots. This time I do have both again. So I started out doing these. I explained it in my last video. And I took paper, and if you watch that one, I cut down a bunch of this very lightweight paper that I have, and then I just went ahead this morning and I did the, I ran it through the printer to get some backgrounds, just some background paper, so that when I fold them, they will already have the color on them for writing. I won't have to add paper. So I have those. Now from those, we had some offcut items. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with those now. So I have a bunch of these. And what I'm going to be making came from Cori Dahmen. And she did this and another style that I actually watched on Pink Monarch. I'm going to do that one as well. But I thought I would start with this one. So this is a nice little tuck spot in the top. You can also, when you glue it into your page, you can glue 3 sides. Or you can glue this top side, this side, and this side, and then make a side tuck. But then you still have your pocket for a top tuck. Plus you have this one as another tuck. So that worked out. All right. And here was one I started, and literally all they did was folded, as you can see. Just fold it in however big you want that, or however long you want that. So I'm going to make this one maybe about 3 inches. I think this one's longer. Yeah, I'll do this one at about 3 inches. Somewhere around there. Because I think this one I'll make a side one. It'll give me a little bit more room on this side of the journal for a tag. And then fold it in half, and then fold it again, which I'm going to cut some of that off about right where you want that pocket to land. So let me make that a little bit bigger. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim this, because my pocket's going to fold over here. So I'm just going to trim this off about, it's probably good enough. As long as it doesn't impede this seam, which it's going to, so I need to take a little bit more off of that, because then you'll just create bulk. And you're not going to see it anyway, so then you would fold it over like this. Now, before I folded it, before I glued it, I went ahead and I inked everything up. So everything is inked, and then I inked the inside, everything that needed to be inked. You won't see this. I inked the inside so that when it's closed, and you open this up, then you won't, it'll just be not stark white, because we know how I feel about stark white. Okay, so then another thing you want to do before you glue down is, if you're going to put a notch in there, you want to go ahead and do that. And we know how I am with notches, or maybe you don't, but I'm not good with notches. So I'm going to go ahead and line that up. I always get them wonky, so, and I've just started to take the time to mark it, because, you know, before I was like, I just fuss with it, but then I would be like, it's not lining up. So I thought, well, quit whining about it and take the time to do it the right way, and then you wouldn't fuss about it. So let's see, about right there looks good. And I'm using a little bit of a bigger one. Oh, one step I forgot to do. I would normally glue that down. So let's grab this one back. Before I put that notch in, I would glue this down first, because, and I would glue down here a little bit too, so that way when I put my notch in, it'll stay together. So let me go ahead and do that around this one. I'm just going to do around these edges and make sure I glue these down. Okay. Then I would have went ahead and did my notch. It just, see, it gets all messy, like all the glue globs up when you go around that circle. So, all right, move that out of the way. So at that point, then I would put my notch in, and then I've inked everything else, but since I've added the notch, I now, excuse me, I now have to ink that. All right, and then at that point, I'm going to go ahead and glue my bottom. Okay, you don't want to glue that top because that is where your pocket's going to go. And you could probably put a notch in here as well, but to center it, you're not going to see half of it, and I just didn't want to put it down there. I have a frog in my throat today. Okay, so then with this one, I took a little bit of washi tape just to sort of differentiate the two sections here. And is that glued down pretty good? Yeah, this will get, you can actually glue just the little piece there down too. So let me do that real quick. This edge, just to keep it in place. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do some washi tape, but first I was thinking maybe a couple little brads right here would look cool. So I think I might try that. I haven't done that before. And I just thought of it, or I would have had these prepared. But again, one of my little systems here that I have all my stuff in. All my little containers that I'm obsessed with. And that one looks good right here. Okay, that one looks good. Get that out of my way. So before I glue this down, yeah, I'm going to use those. I want to put these brads in. So let me get my little hole punch. Actually, I might not even need one that big. No, I'm going to get my smaller one. Yeah, I think this one would even be better. Yeah. All right, so I am just going to eyeball this. Well, maybe I'll put a couple little marks just so I can see where I'm at. Let's go like right here. And then right here. Close enough. And then punch that out. Punch that out. Yeah, I think that's going to look cool before I glue it down. So the shank is a little bit long, and I don't want it to go this way because I don't want it to impede anything. Although I'm going to put tape over it, that's going to go you know, any tag or anything that I want to put in there. So I think I'm going to cut these down a little bit, because I'm also going to glue them in there. So I'm just going to take my wire cutters and we'll break that off. Come on. And same for this one. I think I'm going to pull that apart just a little bit though. Oop, get it in there. Okay, got those. And then I'm going to go ahead and, with much struggle, open these back up before they get to the other side. Okay, got that one going. And that one was already kind of going, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, how do I want to do this? I don't work with brads a lot, so someone's probably out there, do it this way, and you're probably right. But I think I'm going to go ahead and add a little glue just around the edge of this a little bit. And then put that in there. And then go ahead and put my little shanks down. There we go. Okay, because I kind of wanted them to be like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of, I suppose I could just glue them. I don't know. We'll see if this works. I'll just put a little glue there. There we go. All right. Oh yeah, I like that. That's going to be cool. So I've been trying to use things that, you know, I see other people use, and then it's like, oh, I want to get some of those, and then I get them, and then, you know, I don't really use them. So I'm trying to be more mindful of using up things I have. Okay, did that a little different this time. And things that I've seen other people do, and just trying to get some of my stuff used up. But it really does add a lot to it, doesn't it? Like, yeah. Like it takes, oh, look at that. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. So now I will go ahead and glue these down. Did I glue that one? Let's see. Okay. Now I'm going to glue these edges down. There we go. And then you have this. Yes, I like that. All right, I can always go back and glue those corners a little more if needs be. Now, I don't do a lot of washi either. Now, that was one thing I never really got into, and I never really got big stacks and stashes of it. But I do have a little bit. So let me see something that might look cool on there. Yeah, I think the birds. I want something thicker though. I think I'll use this one. Oh yeah, this is it. So I'm just going to line this up. And then I'm just going to tear a piece off. And I think I'm going to try to line it like about right there, because you're not going to see the back anyway once it gets glued down. Yeah, I like that. It just gives it a little bit of character without going overboard. Okay, I'll probably like go crazy now and use brads and everything. Okay. Then you can just go back and re-ink anything that, you know, you think might need just a little bit more. I think those tops just need a little more. And then there you go. You have it for your book. I love it. And then, of course, you can always add some little decorations and stuff right here. I'll probably go through my stash later, maybe add just a little bit here or sayings and stuff, but there's going to be a tag in here too. So just remember, you're not going to see a whole lot of those decorations on this side because you'll have some tags in there. Okay, so that was one. Move those out of the way. And then I said, don't throw these little pieces away because you can always do something with all of these little pieces, right? So I don't throw them away. Eventually, when I get too many, I just have to make a decision because I have one spot dedicated, and if it gets out of control, they got to go. I can't keep them anymore. I've just made that rule for myself because it can get out of control. So what I'm going to do is you can take these and just line them up. And since most all of my books, like we talked about in the last one, are no more than 8 inches. Yeah. So this one, I'm literally just going to kind of freestyle it. So I like, this is 6 3/4. This is over 8, definitely over 8. So what I'm going to do is line this up, and I'm going to take off. Let's see if I'm in shot here. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's go 7.5. And I'm literally just going to rip that off. And then this one, I'm going to go about the same size because I don't mind that it's overlapping like at the bottom. But I'm going to rip this one off maybe about right here. So you can just even line up your pages. And I do want to rip that one off a little bit, I think. And just go for it. And then I had one more strip that I want to put down the middle of this one. So I'm going to rip that edge just to give it that effect. And then I'm going to rip that the same size. Well, maybe I'll offset it. Yeah. All right. So then go ahead and ink them up. Now, eventually, I do get rid of the tiny, teeny pieces. I don't keep everything. You can't. It's too much. So I'm going to ink some of these edges. I've got these already inked up and ready to go, so I just have to do the top. All right, and then at this point, it's just a matter of laying your pieces. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my glue stick. And I don't go sparingly on the glue stick because you want it to stick. And sometimes if your papers start coming back up, if you've put a proper amount of glue on there, you can take your hairdryer or your heat gun and you can just heat that back up to if it starts to come up. And I notice a lot of times if I work the glue into the paper, and people probably already know this, but then it seems to, it's more flexible. So when you go to bend it again, it doesn't, when it dries, it doesn't come up. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Okay. And then this one I'm going to offset a little bit over here. And one more that's going to go this way on top. All right. I'm just going to turn this way a little bit so I can see what I'm doing here. All right. And of course you can rip them with your hands and make the edges all jiggy jaggedy, but then what this is for is you can use it as a belly band. So you could use it like this and then use it as a belly band. Or you can just use it to make a statement on the page. Sometimes when I've had flip out pages, like this one, I'll just put it like on this part of the flip out, and then you can tuck little tags in there, but then it kind of holds that down. So, or you can just use it on the front of a journal and make little clusters. If you don't like the length, rip it in half and then just use a little bit for a cluster. So don't throw those scraps away, because you can have fun. You can have fun making scraps. All right, so another thing I got out of the, when I was cutting, and it actually came out of this one. And so when I cut off the end, because I did not need that huge piece with, let me see right here. Must have come off of like this end, because this would have been this end. Yep, that's exactly where it came from. So when you have all these little pieces left, you can make another little writing journal. And because you've already done the printing on the inside of the paper, it's just there and ready to go. So you would just, I would ink up my edges. Some people don't care if the things are inked. I like them inked. So I'm just going to ink those up. All right, so then you just have this, and then if you watched the last video, you saw I had these little clusters that I had made, and I thought this one looked pretty good on there. When I first made these, I made these with really stiff paper. Don't use a stiff book page. Use the thinner ones, because then it just didn't get pliable. So, but I make it work. I just have to hold it a little bit longer. And what I did with these, the edges, I tore them all with my hands, all these edges. So I just went around and tore a bunch of little pieces. And then I coffee dyed them, because then I did not have to ink them. The coffee pools around the corners, and I really liked how that looked. So I have a stash of them, and every once in a while when I get ready to make clusters, I just get them out. The edges are all ready to go, and then I just fill in the rest. Now those I have to ink, obviously. Where'd that come from? Oh, I don't know. Oh, it must have come down here. From down here. I'll fix that later. So, and there you go. So then again, you can either use it to put in a pocket, or you can put it on your page. You can put two of them, actually, do two different ones, and then again you have, open this up, you have more writing space. So if you glued the whole thing down, it could just be a writing space, or you can glue 3 sides and it can be another tuck space for a tag. So yeah, that's what you can kind of do with those. So all these little pieces, they just come in handy. I have one more for you, and then we'll be finished with this video. Okay, so I ended up with some of these little pieces too. I don't remember which cut they came off of, but they had to come off one of the long ones because they didn't get dyed on the back. So all I'm going to do with those is I just get into my stash of either coffee dyed paper. I have some lined paper. I just do this off my computer. I have a lined thing, and I just throw whatever paper, whether it's a digital or cardstock or whatever. Since this is thinner paper, I'm going to put it on thicker. If this was a thick piece, it would go on a thinner. So all I'm going to do is I am just going to glue this on. Yep, I'll just glue this on. I'm keeping it towards the top so I can grab that little thicker writing spot up at the top like you normally see in paper. I always try to get my edges good. And then I always want to make sure I'm lining it upright. and it can all be inked afterwards as well. So I just get that on there. And when that is dry, I will cut that out. Let that sit for a minute. I think I want this side, and I'm going to do the same thing. And I do have one more for you. I almost forgot about that. Cori Dahmen did as well, but I think I mentioned it earlier. I got it from Pink Monarch. She did it, but she got it from Cori Dahmen. So I'm mentioning both of their names because they both did it. So then, obviously, at this point, we're going to just cut this out. And if you know where I'm going with this. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my chomper to round the edges. I'm going to use the quarter one, as Julie from Camellia Crafts. she says corners are offensive. Sharp corners are offensive or something like that. She cracks me up. Yeah, I watch way too many crafters. But they're just funny. I love them, and they keep me company while I'm crafting, really. Since I craft alone, I'm a lone crafter. Not many people in my area really understand junk journals or understand all this stuff. So they just kind of look at me like, huh? What? Junk journal? What are you talking about? So I'll go ahead and cut that one out later for time's sake. But you get the gist. We're going to go ahead and ink that up. Now you can always add some words to this. You can add, something, you can redecorate the front, add a little bit. If I'm going to use this for a journal card, I want to keep it flat as possible. So I wouldn't put anything super bulky, like these beads that are on this one, wouldn't go on here. But I definitely would put a sentiment or a word, maybe a flower, something to that effect. So those can all be decorated and used in your journals. Okay, the last one I have. So this is just my prototype, and this is going to be made out of these. And I just wanted to make one to kind of see how I wanted it. Now, I don't like the stark white, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about that. But I may just add paper to it. I may ink it. I don't know. But this is how this... I didn't glue it all down because I wanted to show you that this is basically what it is. Okay, so you fold this, and then I'm going to show you what that is for. So basically what they did was turn your paper as if it's facing you, and then you're going to fold up, if I can remember this, without going back and referencing their videos. You're going to fold up, and then, how did that work? Okay, let me back up the boat here. And I'm gonna leave this in because I want to show you that this happens. Like, you can't always remember. That's why I have a prototype. So this was actually 9 inches. And I think that might be where I got like one of those little cards from. No, I didn't, because I didn't do it with these yet. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. And then we're going to score it or fold it at 3 inches on either side. So 3 and 6. Okay, that made more sense. Then this is going to get folded in, and this will get folded in. So you're going to do, again, you're going to fold this side down, and that's how it worked. I think I folded. You're gonna fold to meet that crease, because you don't want to go over that crease. So it'll be like that. Right, I'm gonna get my little example out. And then, how did that go? Or did you fold it down? Okay, take that. Sorry, you take this and fold it this way, and you take this and fold it this way, so that you're not impeding the score marks. Then when you close it, it should be like this. And I didn't get this one down quite far enough. There we go. So when you close it, you're now looking at this. So of course this one looks a little bit smaller because I must have started with a wider paper, because now you're going to want to chomp that off. Okay, then when you're looking at this, I'm going to switch over to this one now. When you're looking at this, this one's going to close down and this one's going to close down. But this one, you can leave it open if you want, but this one is going to get glued down. Or you could leave the little edge, like they said, you could leave this to put little tags in. But I'm gonna do it this way on my prototype. I'll probably have to have another prototype so I can open it back up and see what I did, which is fine. That's why I didn't use awesome paper, because then you're going to glue this side. This is still working on the same side that's gonna be glued down. You're gonna glue this side down like this. Then this side is going to stay open, and this is where I said I don't like the stark white, but so I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with that, or maybe I'll just use some of the paper I printed on the back so that I don't have stark white. But at this point, you're going to have this little piece left at the bottom, and you can use some of that to make this. And then I just glued it on the back and then used a Velcro tab, or used a Velcro. You can just get these from the Dollar Tree, but I do use the art glitter glue as well to tack them down. And then this comes over here, so when you open it up and you put it in your book, you now have a tuck spot either on this side if you want, but if you glue down the 3 edges, you now have a tuck spot here, you have a tuck spot in the middle, but then you open this up and then you have a journaling spot here. So yeah, pretty cool, huh? And then you can go ahead and decorate, like I would maybe put a button down here and decorate this little flap, or you know, put some ribbon or something on it. But yeah, I'll try to put Cori's in there too, as well as, let's see, Pink Monarch, and then you can go and see what they did too. But anyway, that's the fun I've been having with paper. I'm having a ball, but this one is my favorite, and I'm going to actually start working on some more of these today. I absolutely love them. So anyway, I hope you found that fun and helpful, and thanks for stopping in and visiting with me, and go have some fun. Get some paper out. Play. Bye.